Sokka is a Riz god!
Sin City was a savior.
Stop bugging her, Airhead. You need to give girls space when they do their sewing.
What is that?
What does me being a girl have to do with sewing?
Simple. Girls are better at fixing pants than guys, and guys are better at hunting and fighting and stuff like that. It's just the natural order of things.
Cannot for the life of me understand why people will see a very successful IP or franchise and decide that they're gonna remake it and remove the elements of the original story that made the story successful in the first place. What I'm about to discuss might not seem like a very big deal in the grand scheme of things, but little tiny characteristics like this that you end up changing can create a domino effect on the whole story. I've only watched bits and pieces of The Last Airbender, but it is one of those things. I know it's not exactly anime, Japanese animation, because it was made in the US, but it's still one of those animated shows that I wanted to watch. And then when I heard that Netflix was doing an Avatar show about it, I figured, you know what? Because One Piece was so amazing, maybe I can get a bite size of the story watching the live action adaptation because One Piece was so successful, at least at the time of this video. You watch the trailer and everything looks hopeful, the visuals actually good, it looks like it's gonna be a good show based on what we see in the trailer. And then you look up for more information on it and you get hit with articles like these. Netflix's Avatar, The Last Airbender under fire from fans for removing Sokka's sexism. Netflix's Avatar, The Last Airbender series will take out Sokka's sexism. I don't know why I'm speaking like that. They like to portray British people as villains in movies for some reason. The British accent automatically means evil. I don't know why. Don't forgive me. But yes, it's rebooting and they're removing an element about a character that made him what he was, and that was a pivotal part of his journey. So from what I know about Sokka, first of all, he's really annoying. The first time I saw him, I was like, Jesus Christ, this person is freaking annoying. And it's not just because of the sexism. He was just so over the top. And every time I saw him on the screen, I wanted to walk away. But from what I know, he gets better over time. And he starts out and is introduced to everyone as a sexist character.
Leave it to a girl to screw things up.
You are the most sexist.
It's all about, I can't believe girls did this, and girls always screw everything up. And so we understand the basis of this misogynist character. It's very obvious that he's misogynist, but you know what? He develops later, and at every turn, people challenge him on his perception. It's not like everyone's jumping on the bandwagon with him and saying, yeah, Sokka, I know, right? They're all looking at him like he's clearly immature. And that was the whole basis for his character. So we could see him grow into the person that he becomes, who ends up respecting women. So I don't know why they would remove that, because don't you want to showcase people, if you're trying to be progressive, correcting someone who's misogynist and showing how that person grows into a better person and out of that ideology? How are you going to do that if you don't show the problem from the beginning? It's like with any character. You have these characters that are haughty and arrogant and recalcitrant, and they get their asses handed to them, and then you see them grow to be decent, mature individuals that are no longer little asshats that they used to be. When you see the growth, you're like, man, that turned from an annoying twit to this badass leader who is just a really respectable guy. Like, damn. And I know that they can use other elements. They can create other elements probably to help him grow, but then why go the extra mile of doing something that might not work with his character rather than just using what worked for his character in the beginning? It's not like he was a proponent for people being misogynist. You have actual people that are real misogynists out there. Like, I know people throw around the word a lot, and that's to the point where it's kind of lost its meaning, but there are legitimate people who are misandrous and misogynist out there. I would want a character like this to stay in the live action for people who haven't watched this or for fans who are coming over, so we can see in a probably shorter format the growth of this character and still showcase and reach other audiences and basically encourage them to not act like this by showing them people like this exist. Here's how you deal with it. Here's how you grow. For the life of me, I can't understand why they would even want to remove it. I thought that it was a situation where he was sexist and people were just like, it's all right. Because, you know, they'll call most even Japanese animation sexist in the way they treat women, and I don't personally have a problem with it because I understand it's an animation, and for that show or whatever it is that I'm watching, that's That's just what it is. I'm not gonna get personally offended by that. I might make fun of it or criticize it, but I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. And you have people like this saying, there's more weight with realism in every way. The actor, or Sokka, said. And another actress follows up, I feel like we also took out the element of how sexist Sokka was. I feel like there were a lot of moments in the original show that were iffy. Sokka's actor goes on to saying, yeah, totally. There are things that were redirected just because it might play a little differently in live action. Okay. As the article mentioned, but the entire series is time after time of Sokka getting schooled by much more powerful women, including his own sister, Earthbender Top, and famously the non-bending warriors of Kyoshi. His entire arc is learning to appreciate and respect the women around him and understand that he's not innately better than any of them, despite his view that men should be superior at combat. Characters, even heroes, should be allowed to have flaws, even problematic ones. Sexism is obviously bad, and the original Avatar very much views it as bad and makes an effort to explain that at great lengths through Sokka, specifically over the course of the series. Taking out this element of the character entirely to what not attract Gen Z criticism misses the spirit and aims of the original. It's not making the series more palatable for 2024, it's just making it worse. And if you're against sexism, you should agree that removing the storyline is doing way more harm than good, given the reason it was in the show in the first place. Oh my God, Forbes, I can't believe you're saying this, right? You'd think, and Forbes is a very progressive website, so you would think that people who were trying to be progressive would leave this in. But it's like people are trying to bend over so far backwards that they don't realize that they're crowning their own ass. And it makes no freaking sense. Stop. You are going all the way around to the point where now you are being sexist. Because you have an opportunity to reach a wider audience and I guess use this messaging that now people would even say, damn, them really hammering this over the head is kind of annoying because that's what a lot of movies are already doing. They're already making men as sexist as possible and painting men as misogynists in these characters and then making the women outdo them in everything. Isn't that your go-to now with modern entertainment? So it's so funny to me and ironic why they would make this the complete opposite of what they usually push for in modern entertainment. That's what's really hilarious to me. It's really hilarious.
That's the day we need to invade the Fire Nation.
Here's the thing. If you're gonna remake a show and you're gonna take out important beats and elements about the show that made it successful, just don't make it. Make something different. Hey, we're gonna make a movie about freaking Vikings, but you know, going across the sea and that's what it was based on. But I don't know, swimming is offensive and so are boats, so we're not gonna make them have boats. We're gonna make them tunnel underground. Like, I know that's a very outlandish example, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is how ridiculous some of these things are. Or if you're making a historic film or show on, say, slaves, right? And you're like, you know what? It's really offensive showing them getting beaten. Let's take that out. Let's take that out. You know, and even if the people were like, you know what, this is wrong and we're gonna fight for this, and you see all the white and black people come together, or whoever it was, because there was slavery in every country, they come together and they try to end this, put a stop to this. Why would it make sense to tell the story and have it hit so poignantly if you're missing the whole reason why it was so bad in the first place? I mean, it's bad enough owning someone, but then you don't show the horrors of it, and somehow it's supposed to have the same level of effectiveness as the actual original stories it's based on or the historical events it's based on. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I'm not saying that the show won't be good or that you can't have a good show without taking out certain elements or making it different, but this is not the way you want to market something as having a monumental change like this to a character, because from people's experience, every time people come out and remake stuff and claim that they're getting rid of problematic messaging or what have you, it never ends well. Especially what we've seen with Disney's track record and other movies and shows that have remade stuff and ruined the whole spirit of the original. They can change Sokka's character to make him seem more insecure about his friends in general or what have you. And I'm sure there's a way that even implementing this change, they can execute it well. However, it's called Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? So people are going to be coming in expecting that fans are going to be expecting that this is going to be a live action version of the franchise that they grew up with. Why change an element about a character that was part of his whole character arc? It's awkward. Just take him out and call it something different. Put another character in, or just, I don't know, not take it out at all or make the show? What in the weirdness?